Thank you for tuning in to No Flag Radio. I'm your host, P. Banging this shit down. Today we talking about when white people say white supremacists only wear KKK robes or tote Confederate flags. So this is kind of going to be a concept video. I'm going to do other videos like this. But I think that, with all of the deluge of anti-black activity after anti-black activity every damn day that we get to see put on blast in the American branch of white supremacist terrorism, it's important to pull back the layers of this real quick one time and just give a shout out to all the white people that have ever got in your face talking about, I'm not a white supremacist because I'm not in the KKK, I'm not a neo-Nazi, I'm not a Confederate flag waver, shit like that, right? When I introduced the concept of the workaday white supremacist terrorist, I think that was something that I created. I haven't heard nobody talk about that on social media ever. The workaday white supremacist terrorist. I think I coined the phrase. When I bring them up, I'm sure that gets under some people's skin out there because they didn't think that they would be unveiled this year or at any point. They thought they could just hide during the motherfucking Aquarius age, the age of knowledge flow. And that's dumb. But the workaday white supremacists, they're going to be the ones that try to point the finger at the Confederate flag waving, KKK robe wearing motherfuckers, the obvious suspects, right? But I think this year has brought a whole new contour to who and what white supremacy looks like and who and what their supporters look like, so forth and so on. So it just coordinates the logic, I think, for black people to just come together at some point in time, like on a day like today, and just say, man, all you motherfuckers be on this bullshit. Well, let me try it like this. Most of you motherfuckers with white skin are workaday white supremacists. Let's just say it, quit the bullshit, right? That's the reason I made up that term, workaday white supremacist, so we could have somewhere to land to describe the everyday average Joe white supremacists out there. Hiding in the prepper movement, hiding in the military, hiding in the police force, and then being willing to hide right next to you in the grocery store. Well, why would they hide next to you in a grocery store and why would they hide in the police department? Why? Because warfare is deception and they're always in war mode with black people and the society around them because they've done so much dirt to everybody. They have to always be in war mode. Everybody wants them off the throne. Let's just say it. All right. We talk about this wrestler, Andrew Johnson. Brother had to cut his dreads, or he decided to cut his dreads. Didn't nobody stop him from cutting his dreads before he started this wrestling tournament that he was in. Unfortunately for this brother, he didn't just say, look, I'm not gonna cut my hair, y'all can just forfeit the match. Fuck all you white motherfuckers, is what my thought would have been at that age. At that age, I didn't know how to say white supremacy. I didn't know what it was like that. I just knew, get your white ass out my face, bitch. You know what I mean? That's all I really, that's all I really knew about white people. All right, y'all know my story. So, for that, who was the white supremacist in that case? Ask a white person. Ask a white person on the street. Who was the white supremacist in that case? Well, they'll say, well, no one has on a KKK robe, fella. They don't have on a Confederate flag draped around their head. Well, it couldn't be anyone there. No one there was a white supremacist. And then you say no. When a fucking punk ass ref, when his punk ass can walk around with this angst for black men because he got slammed by one at a party, I won't let him forget it. He got his ass slammed for calling him a nigger with his bitch ass, and he got mad and he blamed black men for the rest of his life because of it. If you ask a workaday white person, let's not put white supremacists on it right now, but let's ask a workaday white person, so who was the white supremacist in that case? They're gonna be like, well, surely there was no white supremacist present. Look at it, do you see any KKK robes, guy? You see any crosses burning? So you see what I'm talking about, you see what I'm getting at. I don't allow white skinned people to play dumb with me when it comes to them identifying white supremacy when it comes to them identifying those of them that are white supremacists. And we should be proud in the black media and all the social media spheres, we've made the dominant society define white supremacy on our terms, from our vantage, using our narratives as a starting point. They may try to defend against it, but they have to use our narratives as the starting point. We force that upon them. Now the Confederate t-shirt and the Confederate flag narrative don't fly no more, you understand? And then when they try to play dumb, that's when I label them a workaday white supremacist. I've said this several times on my channel, I'm gonna say it again. I don't allow white-skinned people to play dumb with me when it comes to them identifying white supremacists. And we have to all kind of soak on that. Soak on that mentality, black people. Don't let them try to act like you ain't been watching all of 2018 and you ain't had your cameras on all of 2018. And we had our cameras on the whole fucking year. And what have we seen day after day? Barbecue Becky, the punk ass ref that we were just talking about, Maloney. And out in Florida where that white dude, I don't know if they ever gave his name up, but that white dude that attacked our pregnant sister Felicia Russell in that parking lot. And our brother Derek Brown rolled up with the strap like, bitch, what? Yo, he didn't have on no KKK robe, that white dude, did he? No. And then like about a week later, y'all remember the Florida A&M students that were trying to get into that elevator, that white male that pulled a gun on them for nothing. He wasn't wearing no goddamn devil horns and a pitchfork. You understand? Who else? Michael Rappaport. I always thought he was a racist. Even as a child, I was like, why is this motherfucker in Spike Lee movies, man? He gives off the vibe of a motherfucker that I will beat his ass because he feels like a racist motherfucker around black people. It just seemed like something is off about him. He's one of them bruh and low-key slang talking white dudes. Bruh and low-key motherfuckers. I watched that stupid shit. His bitch ass. He was hating on Kenya Moore, fine black ass, you know what I mean? With her fine motherfucking ass. Hating on her, you know what I'm saying? All to make the homosexual boy laugh and have a good time. What's his name? Andy Cohen. He wasn't wearing the Black Sun flag or the Proud Boys American Guard flag, doing none of that shit. Roseanne Barr, her racist ass. Donald Trump, his pink salmon colored ass. What's the husband of Tamra Mowry? Adam Housley, his stinking ass. Who else are some other white supremacists that didn't wear a Confederate flag on their body the whole year? Who else? Oh yeah, Robert Bauer, the synagogue shooter. Racist white supremacist. No Confederate flag on him. No KKK robe on him. Amber Geiger, no Confederate flag on her. H&M, Prada, all these various banks that have been getting sued this year for racial discrimination in the bank and discriminating against black people. Capital One, they year after year getting sued for fucking with black people. But they sure will put Sam Jackson in the commercial though, but they've been constantly getting sued. And nobody wore a KKK robe. Nobody wore a KEK flag. Nobody wore a SS patch. This is how I think we need to process this. We need to take some time and decompress. You understand? And process it all real quick, black folks. Just sit back and breathe with your brother P for 1 second. You understand? Just meditate on the activity that's happening and kind of categorize everything we just saw in 2018. I know the year ain't over, but let's go ahead and go into that chamber, kind of coordinating our thought around this whole concept that if you didn't know, white supremacy doesn't mean a KKK robe, as a lot of white-skinned individuals try to dole it down to. Yeah, you think motherfuckers is dumb. That's what a white supremacist society allows for a white-skinned person to do. It gives them something to hide their role in white supremacy behind. Something to hide behind. I'll read enough war books. I'm an Aries and I read war books, so you know that's a problem. One thing that I've come across is destroy everything they hide behind. In this case, we're destroying that narrative that white supremacy is identifiable by clothing. That's a very flimsy narrative. That's a very stupid narrative for white-skinned people to think of and think they can fool us with it. Very dumb. But if you're on my channel, they ain't moving the needle with us. They ain't moving shit over here. We're talking about specifically white-skinned people, not white supremacists, not workaday white supremacists, not suspected white supremacists. white-skinned individuals. My overarching point is the workaday white supremacists, we can pat ourselves on the back, black people. They didn't escape persecution this year. We got on their heads this year. We broke them down all the way to the coffee boy in the newsroom, to a motherfucker that worked behind the counter at a Starbucks. You understand? We broke them down this year. And all those people that I just named, they started out as white-skinned individuals that used different narratives and philosophies in which to cloud and shroud their white supremacist behavior. I guess they figured they had to get a job somewhere. They had to pretend and fake it up. Maybe they was being interviewed by somebody black, so they had to pretend and fake it up. They couldn't just say, fuck you nigger, I hate you nigger, I'm gonna call the cops on you nigger, I'm gonna racially profile you nigger, because they're in no position to. They're in a begging position to a black person in that case. They begging for a job at an interview or something. They couldn't just be outright white supremacists in that case. Maybe they came across various cases where they had to hide their white supremacy under white-skinnedness, right? So this is just how they think. We just surveying their logic and surveying the evolution of a white supremacist, starting out as a white-skinned individual, all right? Going into 2019, we don't need to be even pretending like there aren't workaday white supremacists posing as your average white-skinned person. Y'all hear that, Jewel? We need to get over the fact that the workaday white supremacists that we see, that we catch on camera, the ones we catch, right? Those workaday white supremacists, that they aren't hiding and masking themselves as white-skinned individuals, all because white supremacist society allows white-skinned people cover by default. It's very subtle, but you got to catch it. I'm sure we do. We doing good at catching it, black folk, is what I want to say. I want to give you an example of this shit. I was in an Uber one time, and you know, it was a short ride. I didn't have far to go to where I was going to. And this Uber driver was just talking, you know, she was a white lady, a white-skinned person. But by the end of the ride, I figured out, yeah, she's probably a white supremacist. By this one simple thing, just talking about, you know, just different things. I really don't try to get into deep conversations with these Uber drivers. I'll talk to them about some base level shit. You know, that's how you do kind of with your everyday white-skinned person. You can't get too in-depth with them because you'll break them down. They'll see the natural sunlight within you, and then they'll start catching cancer right then. You understand? This is just, it's facts. I mean, I ain't making up shit. Once they see your vibration is above a certain level, they start catching skin cancer right then and there, right next to you, right? But look, at some point in the conversation, we got to the point where she was like, oh, I don't know how she got to this, but she was like, well, you know, I'm an electrician. I like to just see things blow up. You know, talking about she's the type of person that just likes to, you know, kind of cause mischief and cause destruction was what she was getting at. We had some kind of conversation where she ended up to the point saying, well, me, I'm the kind of person that I'm an electrician. I just like to see things blow up, right? And I hit her with the fact that, well, you know, an electrician, that's a very ethical job. You know what I mean? Electrical people, that's a very ethical job. The job is really not about being destructive and blowing shit up and fucking shit up, right? You know, just because you can do something evil and you have a lane to do something evil doesn't mean that you just jump out the window and do evil, even though you have a method by which to do it and it's sanctioned and it's approved, right? That was my response to her. And she was just like, oh, well, yeah, that's right, but, oh, she was kind of taken aback by it, but she was like, oh, I'm just a different person. I just like to see things blow up. And I'm like, all right, weird white bitch, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, all right, bitch, you crazy. But y'all see, I'll say this on my channel, just because there's a lane for you to do evil and be evil doesn't mean that you go ahead and do the evil and be that evil being or do fucked upness. That's the problem that many white supremacist terrorists have. That's the problem that workaday white supremacist terrorists have. And that's the option that a white-skinned person has in America's branch of white supremacy. You understand? So this lady, I didn't know her from Adam, but she's telling me all of this shit. And from all the looks, she's just a white-skinned person. But then I see that propensity to do some shit that a workaday white supremacist would do. That's what workaday white supremacists do. Just because they can call the cops on you for nothing, for you doing nothing, they do it and harass you that way. You understand? Just because they can racially profile you or pull you over just because they saw you were black in the car, they'll do it and search your car and take you through all sorts of bullshit just because they can. That just because I can do it mentality, that is the carrot on a string that attracts so many white-skinned people to become workaday white supremacists. And just by hearing this lady talk, she seems like it's an easy conversion. It's an easy switch off or easy button that they usually like to press and just go over to the side of workaday white supremacy. So it all runs together, y'all. So I want y'all to just know that this is the world we in. And don't let nobody front on us. We done exposed motherfuckers all 2018. It's been a real hard expose kind of year. Everybody done got thrown under that bus in terms of white-skinned people. From the billionaires to the no money in they pocket nares. So just keep an eye on everything, y'all. I want y'all to just decompress. We had a great year so far up to this point. Smashing on their ass, embarrassing their ass every day. Whipping them over their back of their head about their bullshit every day, no breaks. This is the Negro that they sense is a ruling class of Negro, the Negro that will discipline and chastise a white supremacist. That's what they noticing, like, okay, these are the Negroes that we can't rule. We can't control these Negroes. Yeah, this is where we at. So come holla at, this is what we do. Understand? But I just want to shout y'all out real quick. Shout out my people out, man. Y'all already know, man. Shout out to everybody in the social media world that's black that's been doing this type of work, man, because this shit is fun to me. You know what I'm saying? So just want to holler at y'all real quick, man. Catch up. Get wet. But anyway, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you know when I'm dropping. Get it, y'all.